Sorry.
Sorry about that. Well, hey, welcome to the Whelping Room here at Bella Vista English Mastiffs. Lots been going on here. As you know, I did post a couple of pictures earlier. The appropriate time in between heats is roughly 5 to 6 months. And we were planning on 6 months. So, if we are a couple of weeks early, that's fine. Really doesn't make any difference. So, we had to replace the lighting fixture up here, and the breaker is off in here. We thought we had a little more time to work with. So I have rigged up some lamps, and I'm hoping you'll be able to see what the Whelping Room looks like, minus the chandelier that used to be there. So when you walk in the Whelping Room, this is essentially the front parlor to our home. And here, when you walk in, you will find paper towels and other puppy pads and stuff like that. We have baby wipes and gloves and extra syringes, other syringes and supplies for drawing blood, dog wipes. This does not belong there, but the rigged up lamp. And then as you come in here, I have a stand here, sorry, with rubbing alcohol and hydrogen peroxide spray bottles. You never can have too much of that. Our newborn scale, our digital baby scale, can you see it? The digital baby scale, and then our other scale here. You want to make sure you always get proper weight. So over here, you will find the refrigerator for things that need to be refrigerated. And our handy dandy Aeolus 1803 incubator here that we purchased from K9P4. This is Whisper Quiet. It still has my granddaughter's little tiny stuffed animals in it, which is fine. This is Whisper Quiet, like I said. It has a nebulizer that hooks up to it. It is super quiet. It's easily to clean. I have my NICU mask that goes in here if I have to give a pup any oxygen. We have our Respironics. Can you see? The Respironics oxygen concentrator here. That's going to be updated soon. This is our puppies box, whelping box. I have a really nice, well-built wooden box and decided last year, wouldn't it be nice to have one of these? So we took apart the wooden whelping box that was 7 by 7, 2.5 feet tall, bought this, and very soon after, wished I didn't. This is plastic. It has to sit on something so it does not slide. Obviously, a Mastiff can push into it. I have 3 different sets of panels for this. This will be used for the upcoming whelp. But I have 4 girls about to be bred, so we will be setting up whelping areas in other parts of the house too. So, not to worry. That's the whelping box. There's a security camera. This is the TV, the flat screen that we hook up the semen analysis microscope to, and the ultrasound machine. So that when we go to ultrasound at 30 days after pregnancy testing, you are able to see your puppies up close and personal. So in here, we have the Wanfo Fine Care Vet Plus. Can you actually see me? Sorry. Mm-hmm. The Wanfo Fine Care Vet Plus progesterone machine. And in here you'll find semen extender, a new box of progesterone tests, gloves, 20 cc syringes for collection, the timers that go with the Wanfo Fine Care Vet Plus progesterone machine, various gauge needles, smaller needles here. You'll see, what else? Alcohol prep pads, a thermostat for in here. This, where this machinery is, must be around 68 to 70 degrees. And what else is in here? Another thermostat just to make sure. We have 2 new bottles of puppy warmer, bottle of syringes, a bag of syringes, sorry, that I am not going to use. I don't like the little, whatever they are, 3 ml ones. I don't like that particular brand, so I will discard them. Here is the receptacle once I draw blood. AI rods. My handy dandy, soft, great value, twist tie gallon bags. These are the best because they're so soft. All right, what else? The Wanfo progesterone machine. The centrifuge where we spin down blood and semen. And why would we spin down blood? Because we test the serum in the blood. Why would we spin down semen? To concentrate it. Then, when we are running pregnancy tests, sometimes you need to judge the sample. I call that the zhuzher. It's actually a mini vortex. That's what it's actually called, a mini vortex. This is my mini centrifuge. I actually have a huge one. This is just for this. Gloves, eyedroppers, KY jelly, we buy by the case. And that's another funny story for the guy at Walmart. When we ran out, and I went in and said, when the pharmacy was full of people, "Hey, Matt, is that all the KY jelly you guys have, the small bottles?" And it was a Friday, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and he goes, "I'm not sure." And I said, "Well, hey, if you can check in back, I'll take a whole case." And then as I turned around to look at all the people in the pharmacy that was like looking, I went, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I breed dogs. It's not what you think." And Matt, the guy behind the pharmacy, said, "Lady, it's 4 o'clock on a Friday. I don't really need to know why you need a case of KY jelly." And I walked out of the store with my head like this. So again, this is all the equipment here. Here's charts. If you're helping me, other charts. Here's the chart for when is the fertile range for breeding with the Wanfo. And we'll come this way here, sorry. Up here in my handy dandy pool cue case, you will find the Mavic 400. This is an AI rod. It's very, very soft. Very soft, that material. And it simulates a tie. So this is very comfortable to use. You will see, notice the end here. Simulates a tie. Very, very comfortable. And this does need to be re-sanitized before I use it again. This is the exam table where puppies, these are rods that go with what you're hearing in the background is Nugget the pug. Hope you can see this. Not sure if you'll be able to. This is my endoscope. These are not plug-and-play devices. Just got to get that right out of the way. This is an endoscope. If used properly for a breeding female, I am able to go in, check the lining, check the cervix, check up by the uterus, make sure there's no pooling, no schmegma, no cysts, or scar tissue. So again, it's better that your vet does this if you are not familiar with using an endoscope. So that's that. And there are cheap ones on the internet. Don't buy the cheap one. I think I paid about $900 or $1,000 for this one. You're better off to have a good one. So we'll put that there. And here's the exam table, like I said, where you will find the fetal Doppler. We are able to check puppies' heartbeats in utero and differentiate from mom's heartbeat. Oop, I'm going to shut it off. I don't think they sell this model anymore. It is about 8 years old, maybe 6, 7 years old. And you never want to trust just one form of math. This gives pulse and respirations. I'm actually able to find puppy heartbeats in utero. And once I do an ultrasound and able to locate, say I know there's 6 to 8 puppies, I know that I can go to those locations, find heartbeats, differentiate from mom. But you never want to trust one form of math. And if you are looking for a stethoscope, you are really going to want to have an actual doctor's stethoscope. Now, they're pricey. Not to be confused with the $20 one you can get in Walmart. My opinion is, when you are checking for something so important as a newborn puppy's heart rate, you are better off to use an actual doctor's stethoscope. Why? Because it can't, these here. There you go. Well, anyway, having a really good actual doctor or nurse's stethoscope, these are came from a medical supply place, cancels out all the outside noise. Very important. Also, when you have a whelping box, you're going to want to have a heat gauge to make sure you can check the temperature of the floor and the walls of your whelping box. What else? We have hemostats. I will ask you when pups are about to be born, would you like dew claws removed? Some people like them removed, some people do not. In the heavy snow and slush, if you don't keep them trimmed, a dew claw can rip, and that's never good. What else do we have in here? So these rods go with the endoscope. We'll leave that there. Up here you'll find swabs, pads, gloves, cotton balls, and extra thermometers. So in here we have different things to do with the ultrasound machine. A chart where I keep all the puppies' information logged and the owner's information. Up here is contracts. We have a good set of whisper quiet razors to shave legs before we draw blood. Every book known to man, including but not limited to small animal endocrinology and reproduction. Great book. A little pricey, but a great book. Also, if you are breeding, every book that Myra Savant Harris has probably ever written. Coming along. Here is the semen analysis microscope. What's great about this is, once I collect my males and before I use the semen, very, very important to always check your sample before you inseminate a girl. Now, what else can I do with this? White blood cell count, red blood cell count, and fecal matter. So once a week, we scoop up puppy poop and we test it, and then I'm able to look at puppy poop under this semen analysis microscope, even though it's originally designed for semen. Also, I have my Omax here. I love this. It is tried, tested, and true. Again, you invest in good equipment, and then you don't have to buy it again. What else do we have in here? Various things for vaginal cytology. You're checking for quantified cells and unquantified cells. When you're checking semen under the semen analysis microscope, you're checking your semen, your dog's semen, for three things. Viability, meaning they're alive. Motility, meaning they're on the move. And morphology. You want to be able to see heads, spines, and tails. You never want to see broken heads or broken tails or semen going around in circles. You also want to be careful to be sure how many dead semen you'll have. So our dogs have always had pretty excellent semen, but I will tell you, seeing 2 or 3 dead semen or sperm out of a whole screen of semen is not bad, okay? But again, you want to see what I call smart sperm. They're strong, they're alive, they're fighting through each other, going around each other. But what you don't want to see is sperm that are going around in circles or have broken heads or broken tails. In here, more syringes, tube feeding, a breast pump to make mom's milk come in. Sometimes when mom delivers, if you haven't given enough calcium, might be hard for mom to have her milk come down. Out of this 100 cc syringe, I made about the coolest breast pump. Look. I had a couple of these, but someone borrowed one and I never got it back. But anyway, I think Tractor Supply sells 100 cc syringe, makes a great breast pump for dogs. Okay, what else you gonna find in here? I have every breeder should have at least 2 dealy traps. These are really for newborn babies, but you can buy them in off Amazon or Revival Animal Health. Basically, it has, we'll use this one. This is the older one, and I love it. It's got a little tiny NICU line. I'm able to go in after puppies are born, suction out the nose, and it has a little hole here. I'm able to go in, suction the nose out, or in the mouth, around the tongue, to the back of the throat, very gently, and you suck, and then in here, it traps what you don't want in the puppy's lungs. So you should have 2 DV traps. Also, this is a new one, I just set it up for tube feeding. You're gonna want probably a 3 ml syringe. An ml is a cc, so if you don't get confused between ml and cc, it's exactly the same thing. Again, you have the tiny little nick line with the hole, and how you want to measure how to tube feed. sit tight. You can look at that stuff. I will show you here. All right. So when you have your newborn puppy, again, I'm not a veterinarian. I'm not even a licensed vet tech. And I do not play one on TV. But I've been in the field for about 30 years, and I know a thing or two. And so your newborn puppies, if they are not sucking well, you can go in. I believe this is a 5 French tube feeding tube. Hooks right up to a little 3 ml syringe. Depends on where you order it from. It may come with that. How you know if you are in the lungs is you will go in the mouth, just tickle his tongue with it. He'll start to do this. Go to the side, gently. You might tickle his throat a little bit. He will come in here and you'll stimulate that swallowing reflex. Now, how you know that this is in the right place is you're going to look at the last rib. So you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4 on your newborn puppy. This puppy is way too big. If I had a puppy here, it would be tiny, right? Newborn puppy. And occasionally I do tube feed. There is no shame in that if you want to give them a little boost. So I go in through the mouth. He swallows it. I can see where it's going. You can mark your tube feeding 5 French tube by the last rib. So when I'm going to tube feed a puppy, I mark. I can feel the last rib, and I go like this, under the ear to the tip of the nose. So there, this is a big puppy here. If I was tube feeding your puppy, it would be more like this, okay? Tiny. So you'd go by the last rib. So I had an older one that was marked. So you wind up about that much. And then you know you're in the right place. You can see his mouth. He has swallowed it well. You come in very, very, very slowly. Tiny, tiny bit at a time. And you'll hear him go. You might see a little tiny bit of milk in the corner of his mouth. You shouldn't, but if you do, no big deal. What you don't want to see is milk coming out of the nose. And you want to make sure you get this right and not go into the lungs. So, there's that. All this has to be re-sanitized before it can be used. Did I? AI rods, and more AI rods. Now, with the endoscope, what is wonderful about the endoscope, 1 second, Chris. So, the endoscope I use for 2 things. One is I can check, and I just went over this, for the walls, to make sure the walls of the cervix have no scar tissue, any dark spots, any pooling at the bottom, make sure there's no cysts, anything like that. But, and I'm not going to take it out because these are all sanitized, but there's a little tiny hole in here, and I insert one of those AI rods through here, and then with this camera, 1 second, with the camera here, can you see that? I can see going up, coming in at an angle, and then I'm 45 degrees back, I'm getting in by the cervix, I can see the cul-de-sac where the uterus is. Then I go in and I'm able to dispense the semen I want to get to the cul-de-sac, which is the spot here that you can't go any further. Then I back out about an inch. Then I dispense the semen. So that's 1 inch from where it needs to go home. So trying not to talk too graphic if there's children watching. So again, I got to make sure that stays charged. You've seen the cul-de-sac. You've seen the endoscope, which essentially does a TCI, trans-cervical insemination. So here you will see progesterone levels. Can you see that graph here? On this big graph, which I have, I'll show you. I also keep it right here. So, but I'll show you in here. These are progesterone levels. So first sign of blood, day 1, and then 2, 3, 4. Here's day 5, then day 9, 11. Usually you start to see a different color in the fluid, about 11 to 13. You start to go up here. Now, these are your levels of NG. So on the WANFO Fine Care Vet Plus progesterone testing, well, where we will be progesterone testing, I'm looking for these numbers here. So these are the progesterone numbers in NGs. If you're in the UK, it will be MOL. So, and then here we go here, and then we can do a reverse progesterone test by drawing blood, put it back in the WANFO Fine Care Vet Plus progesterone machine, and when I get to about a 3 or lower, I know it's going to be within 24 hours, the whelp. So, there's that. What else do we have in here? Contracts. Here's your whelping chart. You'll see when we want to start AIing 48 hours after ovulation. And of course, my charts tell you where we'll be for ovulation. And then each girl, here's Lily. Each girl, every time they come in heat, I save the ticket out of the machine and I tape it in the book. And I'm able to go back over the years. I can tell you when each of my girls came into heat, and even girls that are no longer living. I save everything. So, there's that. There's other contracts, folders. What? Ribbons from showing horses. Kind of cute. All right. What else do we have in here? The endoscope. We'll stick that back. Are there any questions that anybody wants to know? What else? Extra slides for the microscope. Every type of book from Myra Savant Harris about puppy intensive care, about breeding, AI, pretty well everything. And then also, I do what's called vaginal cytology, where we are taking a swab from inside the, and then I'm able to use a dye and roll it on a microscope slide and see if there are cornified or uncornified cells to also tell when she is ready to breed. Now, what I didn't show you is I was pretty excited to just be able to get a really good industrial, can you see here? Oh. For the ultrasound machine that is well wrapped up. And again, This is the KX 5600. It has the OB package. This is about the third or fourth ultrasound machine I've had. It has an OB package, so we're able to find gestational sacs and heartbeats and all that good stuff. So it'll be exciting to be able to do that. Well, sir. Okay, sorry. What I love about this is it allows me to keep it covered and very secure. Keep it slid out of the way. And it has the handle that I can take it and make it portable if I want to. Here also is tons of ultrasound gel and everything else we need. And so, wanted to show you the whelping room. Getting ready here for breeding. If you have any questions, are there any questions? No? Okay, well, thank you for joining us. My number here is 207-694-1200. If you have any questions about this upcoming breeding or any other breedings, feel free to call me. You have a great night.